Hello, Ferns Creek High School. I'm Aaron Ammerman. I have a financial planning practice in Lexington, and I'm honored to have been asked to speak with you guys briefly about managing your finances as you approach high school graduation. So, today we're going to talk about four basic steps that you guys can take today in order to have a better control over the money that you are earning and spending and saving. So, first, number one, this first step I would suggest would be to make a budget. You've probably heard this before, but it's extremely important for you to know where you're spending your money. It's and also a very easy thing to track. It's as simple as getting a yellow notebook, a yellow notepad, and sitting down and tracking everything that you spend throughout a month and seeing where it goes. I think it'll be very eye-opening for most of you, and hopefully can identify some ways that you can decrease your spending on some things that you may not need, and also reallocate that money towards something that could be very important to you, something else. Secondly, build an emergency fund. This is money that's set aside, a rainy day fund is another name for it, that you only tap into in case of something unexpected. Maybe you lose a job, maybe you get sick, maybe your car breaks down, you have some unexpected repairs that you have to pay for. Something that's going to be out of the ordinary for you. It's important that you have some funds set aside just in case that happens. So usually I encourage people to have 3 months of living expenses set aside. And when I say set aside, I mean in a separate bank account than the one that you normally have. You want it to be separate. You build it up and then forget about it in case you really need it. But it needs to be separated from your normal checking and or savings account. Number three, start saving for retirement now. And this is something that many young adults really put off and don't think about for quite some time because they don't have the extra money to set aside for it, plus retirement is a long ways off. And I understand all those arguments. But what's important is you start to develop some disciplines and some habits that are going to carry you into adulthood. So what's important here is not necessarily how much you save for retirement, it's just that you're starting to do it. Even if it's $10 a month, you're getting into that habit of setting a little bit of your money apart each month that's going to go towards something that you're going to use when you get older. Many employers have what they call a 401k, which is a retirement plan that's set up by your employer. If that's not available, you can set up your own individual retirement account. It's called an IRA, and you can do that on your own. But again, it's all about setting the habits that you're going to continue to keep through adulthood. It's not about how much you put away. If it's only $10 a month, that's great, as long as you've started that. The fourth thing I would encourage you to do is to be generous. Fortunately, Americans are very generous with their time and their money. I would encourage you to find a charity or a nonprofit, something that you really believe in and feel is very important, and support them with your finances and also your time and volunteering. This is, again, starting to develop some of these disciplines and these habits that you want to carry into adulthood. You may not be able to give much of your money or your time, but the fact that you're starting to do that, that helps set up some habits that you're going to carry into adulthood. And my guess is it's going to make you feel more grateful about what you do have. So again, those four steps. Number one, make a budget. And try to identify where you're spending your money and find out things that maybe you should not be spending money on and allocate those to other areas that are probably going to be better for you. Number two, build an emergency fund. Take 3 months of expenses and put it in another bank account, another checking account that's separate from the one that you use on a monthly basis. And hopefully you're not going to need it, but if and when you do, that money is going to be there. You use it for your emergency, and when you're back on your feet, you can replenish that again. Number three, start saving for retirement. Again, it's not about how much you're saving, it's the fact that you're starting to develop these habits of saving for the future, putting money away that you're not going to be using for a long time. And again, this is not about how much you're saving, it's the fact that you're doing it. And number four, be generous with your money. Make sure that you find a nonprofit or a charity or something that you feel is important. Help them with your funds, help them with your time as well, and that'll come back to you. It's a good habit for you to develop, but it'll also make you more grateful, I think, for what you have. So those are my 4 ideas for you. Good luck out there. Congratulations on high school graduation, and go get them.